The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Wake up, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison alongside Chrissy Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, how y'all doing? I'm feeling really great today.
Yeah?
Is it because you're feeling good about the game or just the holiday spirit? Or
I think it's just the holiday spirit.
There we go.
And I'm
Okay.
blessed to wake up this morning.
Okay.
You better preach.
How y'all doing? Y'all good today?
Yeah.
Yeah? Y'all ready to talk some football?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get straight to it.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
we got a Cowboys practice report. Aisha, get to it.
Yep. I was trying to tweet us out. My bad.
It's all right. That's what this podcast is for. We got time. Don't worry about
tweet
it.
us out. All right.
We got you.
First injury report of the week. Report of the week looks as so. Tyler Guyton with the ankle did not practice. Heard Brian Schottenheimer talk about him a little bit, so hopefully he's trending in the right direction. Malik Hooker, for a personal reason, did not practice.
Please.
Do you have any?
I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney with the hamstring was limited. Hopefully he's trending to come back and play. Trayvon Diggs with the knee was limited. This is one of the first times we got to see him in practice. Definitely want to talk about some of Shotty's comments, in regard to Diggs, because we were hoping he was going to come back this week. Jay Ferguson is dealing with a calf. He was limited. That seems new. Yes, ladies?
Yes.
CeeDee Lamb with concussion was limited. That's a good sign for him being in concussion protocol. Hunter Lipke is dealing with a hip. He was limited. New. Savon Revel is dealing with obviously has the knee, so he was limited because they're managing him, tempering him. Donovan Wilson with a knee was limited, and Hakeem Adeniji was full with a knee injury.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, concerns?
Just talking about the Diggs situation, I know last week ahead of that Lions game, of course, Diggs spoke to the media. He said that he, of course, wanted to be back to play for the Lions game, but I actually was told that even though, that was something that he had, wanted to do in practice, he was taking a lot of the reps. And, Kalen Carson, Triquez Bridges didn't take as many reps. Their snaps were kind of diminished a little bit in practice throughout the week. So there was obviously, they wanted to see him be a little bit more consistent, like Shotty said. There were some things that didn't live up to the standard that, Shotty has set here, and that ultimately ended up in the reason why he didn't play against the Lions. So, granted, he's a veteran now, so they have a lot of expectations for him, and that's rightfully so, and hearing Shotty talk about it yesterday, he loves Diggs, loves him as a player, has a great relationship with him. I think he just wants to see a little bit more out of him when it comes to meetings, like he said, practice, like he said, and hopefully he does get that out of Diggs,
Yeah. He said the ramp up is not just the body, but it's also the mind.
Yeah.
And so, and the reason Shotty addressed it is because he was asked the question directly. Wasn't it Todd Archer of ESPN?
I believe so.
Or
Yeah.
John Machota. I think it was Todd. And it's like, to get Diggs back on the field, is it just the knee, or is it more to it than that? I'm paraphrasing, but basically that's how it was asked, and then asked and answered. So, but I think earlier in the week I mentioned that I thought last week was not realistic for Trayvon, no matter what he said, to come back, just because they had not had. Yesterday was the first padded practice, by the way, in like a month.
Yeah,
okay?
because they've been doing
they
short,
had the
short
limited,
weeks.
the limited. So even if that knee is we think we can fully trust it, fully ready to go. He just hadn't had the real work in practice, to just get thrown back out into game day against the Lions. So, but yeah, I think that by directly answering the direct question, Shotty stirred up a little bit within Cowboys Nation.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixed opinions about what is going on with Trayvon Diggs, a lot of speculation and things like that. And at this point, yeah, we heard Shotty say, they have to do what's best for the team, which is important. They have a standard that they're trying to set here, a standard of practice, a standard of play. And we have mostly seen them adhere to that, besides the linebacker position. But we have mostly seen them adhere to the competition and you showing up and the stuff you do outside of the field. You can be amazing on the field, but it doesn't mean that they're going to allow, certain things within the locker room. And, they're asking guys to show up everywhere, to your point, Christy. So for me, I just want the best guys on the field. And if they are trying to set a standard, for so long we talk about this team not having one, or like not necessarily not having one. It just felt like there was always so much going on. And so I have no problem with kind of how Shotty has been handling this season. We've seen it with Jadon Blue. We've seen it with other guys. Like if they don't feel like you're doing your part, they are willing to, they're willing to sit you down or tell you that you got to hold on. And
at least for a series.
At least for a series. He gonna hug you after.
Please. Right?
Yeah.
He gonna hug you after.
Love
He
you
gonna
and
sit
hug
you down.
you,
So I don't know. I do think that, if Diggs, when healthy, when the player we know him to be is a good person to have on the field. But if there's concerns with you playing the system or, things like that, then it just is what it is. So I guess we're going to see more of who? Maybe.
Well, the thing with
Savon.
Revel being with Savon, being limited,
and it sucks
with the
because
knee.
it puts so much on him. He's not really having like an acclimation period, or you went from seeing him in limited snaps to all of a sudden he's starting the whole game. And we know guys that come off ACLs deal with swelling, they deal with soreness, all those things. And I just feel like, unfortunately, the situation with Diggs has also trickled down to his teammate, his young rookie teammate. And not saying that Diggs is doing this purposely. I'm just saying that's probably why. Like, there's other reasons why this is affecting the team in different ways. It's not just him, obviously, but I'm saying it has affected this rookie's ability to slow play getting into the league.
Well, all veterans have to model the right behavior.
And I think that's what they're looking for.
But I think, with Revel, it would mean more work for Carson, right? And then because his time had been diminished, with him coming back from injury, he was playing a lot, and then Revel's available, and so that cut into Carson being a starter and to his reps in the game. But then, it would just probably mean more Reddy Stewart in the slot, and it would mean more Triquez Bridges having to step in and backing up at both of the outside spots.
When you talk about Shotty and the way that he's handled competition, right? Aisha made a good point about, Jaden Blue and other guys throughout the team, Pickens. When you look at the linebacker position, because, Shotty was asked about it yesterday with Logan Wilson. He had mentioned that obviously, we brought him over as a depth piece in that linebacker room, but he loves what Kenneth Murray has brought. Obviously, the physicality, he can run and hit. His eye discipline is what he loves the most. When you look at the amount of snaps that Kenneth Murray is taking, do you feel like that's justified? And how much do you want to see of Logan Wilson, considering the fact that these teams are now attacking linebackers in terms of coverage? And Logan Wilson, in my opinion, I feel like is probably your better linebacker in coverage.
Well, Logan Wilson, the first couple weeks, and by the way, they're still rotating series, and Kenneth Murray is still getting the start. But the first week that Logan Wilson came in and played for the Cowboys, even though he didn't start, Murray got the start. Wilson got just over half the snaps, so about 58%. And then the next week it was just over, it was almost 40%. But the last two games, 45% and 42%. So Murray has gone from going just under 50% to, closer to 55, 58, 60%. And sometimes it's a function of the series, right? If it's your series and you get a 3 and out, or maybe you're only on the field for like 7 plays, and maybe Murray's out there, it might be a 10 play or 12 play drive, those numbers can get skewed.
Okay.
But I know Jerry Jones intimated in his call in to the Fan 105.3, the flagship station of the Cowboys radio, that we might see more of Wilson. but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to affect who's going to go out there with the first unit, but we'll see as a starter. But there'll be some situational things as well, with some third down packages and things like that. So, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Logan Wilson were more like the 55, 60%.
And it's funny because we had him on Cowboys Hour, and I believe Brad had asked him about, like, basically, where's when you going to get your time?
Brad ain't got no chill.
Straight up. And so, and he was just like, man, like, I'm just waiting my opportunity. Like, whenever it comes, I'm going to be ready. And he just kind of course, drew his experience from his time in Cincinnati this last half of the season. And so he's just so cool, calm, and collected, just kind of like waiting his term. And I do love that about Logan. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. I was just waiting. No, you good. I wanted to hear what you have to say. I mean, that's the part of it.
Do you see a big difference between the two? Here's my thing.
Huh?
If it's going to be if it's going to be better, he's going to get more. And so far, I'm not sure that it's been that much better that he's getting more.
Interesting.
It ain't. And I think that's why.
It's across the board with the linebackers, not just those two.
Yeah. It is very concerning to me because when you, and I understand that Eberflus is the defensive coordinator now. Yeah. Like, he is not the position coach for that specific position. But that is a position that I truly expected with him coming in. Obviously, it's just his first year. That's fine, whatever. Would see improvement in their play. And to Christy's point, it hasn't been perfect with Logan Wilson when he's been out there. I mean, there's times where all these guys are taking the wrong angles. They're leaving their defensive tackles out to dry, or the defensive tackles are leaving them out to dry, some of those interior guys. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is when it comes to that Mike linebacker spot, because they brought in Sanborn. Try to do that. Mm-hmm. Sanborn goes down, okay, you bring in Murray. You make a trade for Logan. And that gentleman still...
And you trade for Murray, too.
And you traded for Murray, too. And that gentleman still can't get on the mic. And he hasn't been able to find the field. And it's such a problem because how much do we talk about the Mike linebacker being the quarterback of the defense? And even you turn on the tape, you look at who did you play last week? Who's that?
Detroit.
Lions.
Yeah, the Lions. You look at the Lions. You like, okay, well, they have a guy like a Jack Campbell that diagnoses and does all these things, made a huge play in the game. And it's like, what I will say is that I'm disappointed for these younger guys like a Marist who has struggled, an Overshown who's coming back, even a Shamar James. I'm disappointed for those guys because the linebacker position, you need mentorship, you need time, you need somebody to show you how it's done. And the gentleman that they have brought in to show them how it's done and to help, kind of help them develop in that position, there's no stability there. There's no stability there. And neither one of those guys are playing well, so it's difficult. It's like, how am I going to take advice for you?
Yeah.
How am I going to take advice from you? You filling the wrong gap. You taking bad angles. And this has been a problem in this room I know I'm on my box, but this has been a problem in this room for a while. It's been a revolving door since you lost LVE, since you lost those guys. You have not been able to get a stable veteran that is consistent to help these young players develop at that position. And the coaching staff and all that, they got to figure out how to stabilize this position because teams are killing you there. They've killed you there all year. They're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. I'm sorry, I'm fussing. But they're going to keep doing it. It's a problem. Yeah. I'm nervous about this.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm nervous about this week. I truly am. Because regardless, people see on tape that they can take advantage of your second level, and they can't cover.
We're going to take our first break here on Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Going to dive into this Cowboys offense and Vikings defense up next year on the show.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand.
Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time.
Saturday night, now through December 20th, for an electrifying holiday performance. For details, visit thestardistrict.com.
Welcome back into Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. We got some film to break down.
Oh, I thought you was about to say,
Wake
wake up!
Wake up!
Oh, my gosh.
Is that better?
She's sick.
You're welcome.
Wow. I'm going to need some noise-canceling headphones.
Christy's
Wake
over me.
She gonna get you.
I am.
Go.
Every time, just to make sure everybody's up, you know.
We're up.
am.
I swear I am. I promise I'm gonna wait.
I love that. It's time to break down some film. Vikings defense, Cowboys offense. You look at, obviously, where they rank right now, and it's evident on the film. 12th points per game allowed. 8th in total yards per game. 4th in passing yards per game. Well, 22nd in rushing yards per game. 33 sacks. Let's talk about it. What stands out to you, Aisha, on this film, and Christy as well? What stands out to you, ladies?
Christy, what stands out to you, girl?
Well, just blitz. I mean, Flores is going to bring it. They have the highest blitz rate in the league.
Talk about it.
Each of the past 3 years, basically, cumulatively. So they're going to bring guys from all different directions at different times. They're multiple. We talk about linebacker play this in the previous segment. Excellent linebacker play. Look at the Vikings linebackers. Wow. And they have invested a conscious effort, particularly last year, to invest in that position. So they brought in Grenard, who's the Jonathan Grenard, a former Houston Texan, invested in him, 4 years, $76 million. So they're paying him $22 million a year. And brought him in. He made the Pro Bowl. He had 12 sacks last year, 4 forced fumbles. And then Andrew Van Ginkel, who really fine career starting off Miami Dolphins, they brought him in last year on a 2-year, $20 million deal. And what did he do last year? Along with Grenard, he made the Pro Bowl. And a couple of interceptions that he returned for touchdowns last year, and 11 and a half sacks and a forced fumble, a lot of tackles for loss. So, what you're going to see is them coming from outside linebacker position. Yeah. So I think recognition is going to be a key. And if the tackle play for the Dallas Cowboys doesn't improve from what we saw against the Lions, it could be very difficult for Dak on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think what stands out to me, and we kind of laughed about it before we came on air, is Yeah, you recognize the Hargrave, you might recognize the Grenard, you might recognize the Isaiah Rodgers of, Van Ginkel and those guys. But, like, when you start looking at that back end and stuff like that, you're like, some of these names are probably not familiar to you. And that's what I liked that's what stood out to me watching this defense for the Vikings is that, yes, they brought guys in, but also, too, they just played really well as a unit to where not having a bunch of stars doesn't affect them because they understand, what they're being called to do. And I think the other thing that stood out is, like Christy mentioned, the blitz rate. It's the way in which he's blitzing. And I want to also, too, add some context to the blitzing is that it is blitzing, but it's more simulated pressure.
Yes. Yeah,
because it comes across as, one place they're going to blitz from a crap ton is the A gap, sometimes the B gap. At times they will bring guys off the edge. You see that in Josh Metellus. You see him from the safety position come work at the linebacker spot and sometimes blitz off the edge. To your point, Christy, they really like to manipulate at the second level. But really, when I was looking at their film, it was the simulated pressures. They're trying to change the picture more so than, and what they do, they really cover their tails with the way that they blitz, because a lot of time it's still just 4 people coming. It's still just like 4 people, but they drop enough guys in coverage to where, and they're also dropping their defensive ends into coverage and things like that. And so Dak Prescott, being one of the better quarterbacks against the blitz, his recognition is going to have to be on high alert. At this offensive line that I think about that has struggled in blitz pickups and stunts and stuff like that, man, Javonte Williams is going to have to come to play because Minnesota, when they played Detroit, I watched the Detroit game, and Jahmyr Gibbs really struggled with pass protection. So to your point, Christy, I think that's the biggest thing for me is I agree with you and with you, Nicole, is the blitzing and the usage of guys from everywhere. And if you don't have a quarterback that has the recognition for that and is able to get guys in spots, then that would be difficult. I do think that Dallas is blessed to have the quarterback that they have, and hopefully that will be able to help them in this game.
Yeah, and just taking it a step beyond that, because you're totally on point, Aisha, and then to extend it even further, I think we all totally trust Dak to recognize and see things, and Javonte has done a really excellent job overall this year in protection, but it's also communication with the receiver. It's the hot reads. It's everybody being on the same page, right? Dak can see it. Javonte can see it and help, but, you think it's coming from here, but it's actually coming from there. Or to your point, Aisha, they're dropping, but it's that communication with whoever's going out to be targeted, that they're the same.
I think it's impressive how they have so many linebackers that can drop in coverage.
Yeah.
Like so many people, so many guys that can drop in coverage. They only have 3 or fewer DBs on the field, third most in the NFL. But I think for me, it was the disguises kind of going along with what Aisha was saying. Sometimes they'll have like linebackers, 6 or 7 man on the line of scrimmage, and then they'll just bail. And they hide it so well.
Zone blitz, right?
Zone blitzes.
What they're trying to do is speed up the quarterback's thing.
He's gonna make you
up.
think you're seeing something, and it's not there for real.
Crazy.
And so, no, I agree. And this obviously was one of the better teams in the red zone. The third in the red zone. Dallas has struggled there, only 1 of 3 last week. Dallas is gonna have to come on with it. When the way that I think that they do that is run the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dallas is going to have to run the ball because that's the thing about that's the thing about this defense is that with the blitzing and all this stuff, it's awesome. One thing that I will say in looking at Detroit and playing against them is that Detroit opted to go a lot of 12 personnel, and I think that hurt them. I would like for Dallas to do more 11 personnel, line up your 3 speed guys out there and go beat it. To me, I think that Dallas can attack their blitzing with 11 personnel better than in 12 personnel. And if they do decide to, obviously they are going to need to run the ball. When you look at Minnesota, they have allowed 4.5 yards on the ground and 4.7 yards on the ground in the last 2 games. Javonte has only been averaging 3.9 this last 2 games. He hasn't cracked 4 in a minute. can you get him over that hump? Because I do think that this defense, because of the blitzing, because of the getting upfield, because of all the guys everywhere, if Dallas can establish the run game, it might have to make Brian Flores make some decisions. What you got, Christy?
Because they have a high blitz rate on the first and second down.
Yes,
they
ma'am.
bring
And you
it
got to
early.
be good.
So when you can catch them on that, and if you can get Javonte, if you can get Malik Davis, if you get them to the second level, there's some yards to be had in the ground game.
Yeah, and to your point,
you can pop it. You can pop it.
You can pop some. You can pop some explosive plays, and I think Dallas can pop some explosive plays in the pass game with 11 personnel
because they're bringing it early. It's not going to be waiting to third down.
Yeah, and
do it like you say. Do it early.
Yes, ma'am. I have that in my notes that Dallas has to stay out of third and longs. They want you to be there. That's what they're looking for you to get behind the chains and have to kind of dig yourself up out of a hole. They want you to be in passing situations. And again, Dallas has not run the ball as efficiently as of late. They got to establish that ground game, because if they are one-dimensional or if they're not able to run the ball the way they need to, Minnesota's going to feast on that. Like I said, Dak Prescott, fantastic against the blitz. He has a 72 completion rate, first in the NFL. He's third and with the passing grade overall with 82.8, and yards per attempt, he's second, 8.7 yards per attempt. So this is a quarterback that's very smart, understands this, but at the same time, guys are going to have to help him out in this game.
Absolutely. The communication that we talked about.
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
And I just kind of put a point on how good this Minnesota pass defense is. They're number 4 in the league overall in terms of passing yards allowed, like Nicole mentioned earlier. But this is that can kind of get skewed, right? When you're measuring by just yardage. But here's the thing. In 13 games, 8 times this defense has held the opposing quarterback to less than 200 passing yards.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. And 8 games, less than 200 passing yards. And part of it's getting after the quarterback. And by the way, I mentioned Van Ginkel and Grenard, but it's actually another one of their linebackers who's more on the interior. It's Eric Wilson, who leads their team in sacks. So that's Aisha's point of bringing them from all different points and coming up with that A and B gap. That just means more towards the center instead of coming from outside. But this is going to be tough. And then if I could just say one thing, because I try and do this, is to point out a player to watch and just pick a couple plays and watch this dude, because he is definitely going to be worthy of Hall of Fame consideration. And that is number 22, Harrison Smith, their safety. He's 14 years in the league, still got it. You talk about diagnosing things and knowing what's coming before it happens. So much respect for Harrison Smith and what he's done, and the numbers that he's put up in his career. It's up there along with like the Brian Dawkins of the world and the Reeds and the like. And so just take a couple plays and just watch this guy and appreciate, because he is like the Darren Woodson of the Vikings in their history. What Darren Woodson did for the position here with the Cowboys is what, and Smith has actually played longer than Darren did with the Cowboys. But just appreciate greatness when you have a chance to watch it.
This defense has 5 different players with 25 plus pressures each. Tied for the second most in the NFL. Pretty good. That's so to speak. When you talk about this run game, Javonte Williams is going to be key. What's the best way to attack this run game? Are you going to involve the screen game? Are you going to run outside? Are you going to try to run up the middle? What's the best way to get this run game established?
I think you use their aggressiveness against them.
Absolutely.
I think you just try to, when those linebackers decide to, come blitz and stuff like that, you throw the ball behind them. That's what people been doing to you. So I think you will have, their linebackers are so good sideline to sideline. That's why I'm saying that Dak has to be on point, because I think he can catch them.
Yep.
You're gonna need to try to also, too, with a defense like this, tempo. Changing, really dictating the speed of the game. Do not allow this defense to tee off and Brian Flores to be able to just throw all this stuff at you. To answer your question, I think that you try to use the running backs I think you try to use the running backs in the receiving game to a certain extent. Or I know that people have their feelings and things like that. I think a guy like Kevontae Turpin could be important in this game, could be helpful in this game, because again, this is a defense that likes to squeeze. Okay, if they like to squeeze, how are we going to take advantage of that? And I think that that's kind of what I would like to see from Dallas. You mentioned some of the outside runs. Sure, that could work. Dallas has not succeeded. That's a part of the toolbox with Clayton Adams and those guys that I know he wants to get better at this year, because when he's with the Cardinals, they did that so well, doing those outside runs. Dallas hasn't gotten it as much. So to your point, Nicole, maybe they do try to take advantage of that a little bit more this week.
Yeah, and I like what Shotty said yesterday, and it was in response to asking about Dak's elite level of play against blitzes. And Shotty said, keep solutions simple.
Yep.
Have a handful of things you can trust, whether that's throwing hots or making adjustments. He also talked about how Brian Flores, basically summing up what we've been talking about, they like to fire their backers, meaning their backers. They do lots of stunts in the line game. So, it's everyone being on the same page, recognizing that, picking up where it's coming from, but I think that it's going to have some opportunities. If everybody's on the same page, you can get to that second level or get rid of the ball quickly. You can hit some big plays.
I had a question about also, too, with the run game and how we were talking about this offense kind of getting going. I do think that you can't do the slow starts. You got to put pressure on this on the other side of the ball to have to kind of keep up with you. But in regard to how you run the ball and what you decide to do running the ball, I think the offensive line, like we haven't talked about it, but the interior offensive line going to have to come on with it.
Yeah.
Like the communication is going to have to be clean. Oh, and that's what it was. Dallas cannot go play these guys straight up.
Yeah.
I one thing that I watched in the Detroit game is the fact that the Detroit versus Vikings game, Shotty, these guys can't be stagnant. They haven't been all year. You got to throw motions at these guys. You got to give these linebackers other things to have to think about. And again, that's not something Dallas has done that much, but maybe you see an uptick in this game and them doing some of the motions, them doing some of the orbit motions and stuff like that, because you're going to have to try to create spacing because they don't give up a lot of ground. Does that make sense? So that's one thing in regard to the run game, Nicole, and to answer your question, Dallas is going to have to be creative in how they run the ball, because if you try to play these linebackers straight up, I think it's going to be hard to navigate that. And again, like they haven't been great against the run, but they do have guys that can play sound against the run. Doesn't mean.
That's a good point. I like that. All right, we're going to take our second break here on Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Up next, talk a little bit of Pickens. How much will he be key in this game? We'll be right back. We're going to take our break.
Heck of a win, fellas.
Coach, the Cowboys beat us by 30 points.
No, I'm talking about my dog. He started eating fresh food from the farmer's dog and has lost 7 pounds.
Your senior dog with joint issues?
That's right, Steven. The pre-portioned meals of real meat and veggies help keep him lean, active, and feeling like a puppy again.
That's incredible. But what about the game?
The Cowboys smoked us. Hit the field, run some sprints.
Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of the Dallas Cowboys. Only at thefarmersdog.com/Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed boost razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Get in the game this holiday season with Dallas Cowboys youth football and dance camps presented by Invisalign. Athletes ages 6 to 16 take the holiday hustle to football camps on December 23rd and 27th. Future Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders sparkle with America's sweethearts on December 27th. Spend your holiday break learning from the best. Visit dallascowboys.com/camps to learn more. And it's my favorite thing to host throughout the year. So if you come, please be sure parents, guests are able to come down on the field after it's all concluded. So be sure and come down and say hello. Be glad to meet you and wish you happy holidays.
Y'all better say hi to Christy.
That part.
Yeah, for sure.
Or else.
Yeah.
Because we don't play about Christy. So you better say hi.
I love watching the kids, and I love watching the future Cowboy cheerleaders. They're so cute, especially the minis. 6 to 8 years old out there doing that thing.
The
so
mini.
Mm-hmm.
I met Megan McElhaney from DCC. The sweetest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's some very sweet
my God.
women.
The sweetest.
Those are my girls. Yeah.
All right, well, welcome back into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Christy Scales, Aisha Morrison. It's time to talk George Pickens, of course, down game last week against the Lions. Obviously, shoddy, very confident he can bounce back from that. Hell, George Pickens confident he can bounce back, bounce back from that.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to need to, of course, against this Lions defense. When you look at how the Vikings defend, are slant routes the best way to attack, not the Lions, Vikings, slant routes the best way to attack this Vikings defense?
It's kind of hard. They've kind of changed things up in the last few weeks with one of their cornerbacks. You mentioned Rodgers earlier, and they brought him in and had been starting for him, but he's actually been playing less and working more like in the nickel situations, the longer down and distances. And they've actually had one of their safeties, Jay Ward, come over and play cornerback. So it's kind of hard to gauge or predict what they may do this week going against C.D. Lamb and Pickens. So, yeah.
Interesting, too. You look at Josh Metellus. He's a gentleman that is lining up as safety, but he was a guy that was the slot corner, was lined up as slot corner before. So they're kind of figuring out some things on the go. So I'm not sure. I mean, they've seen success with that. I'm not sure how they're going to decide to, who's going to line up against who or whatever. But I do think, again, as we talked about, is like, yes, they are only, a lot of time, only bringing 4 guys and dropping 7 into coverage and dropping all these guys in coverage. I think Dallas could thrive with the quick game and doing things like that. And, again, running the ball. Because that's half the reason why Detroit was able to bite down on half of the things that you were doing offensively. You got behind the sticks, and you couldn't run the ball well. If Dallas is able to establish a run, you got to give these guys another thing to think about. I do think they should be able to pass the ball in spots and attack behind those linebackers as they, decide to, come up. These guys are great against the run. I was about to say their numbers, 51 and 55. I got to say, my bad. I got to remember their name. But I do think you can do some things against them in coverage. Yeah. So, yes, I do think that if CD plays and George Pickens, I'm not worried about George Pickens to answer your question as well. I think he will bounce back just fine.
I think he's going to have a monster game.
Yeah, but this secondary is good, but they benefit very heavily from this front seven and their ability to get pressure. If Dallas is able to hold up, I do think there should be some opportunities there if they can hold up, because his offensive line really struggled last week.
Yeah, 51 and 55 are Cashman and Wilson.
That's what it is.
Wilson
Cashman.
mentioned, Blake Cashman, who he was Texans, right?
Cashman.
Yeah. So, but
Cashman.
He's their leading tackler, and Wilson is their leading sacker. And not unusual to have a interior linebacker leading your team in tackles. That's to be expected, but you usually don't have linebackers, unless they're like the setting up 3-4 from the outside coming in. That's typical the Von Millers of the world. But Yeah.
What do you feel?
It's a good defense.
Yeah.
So solid, so good. And
He well coached.
yeah, Brian Flores, Shoddy mentioned it, Flores spent 12 years with Belichick in New England, and before he started coaching for Belichick, he spent a few years in Patriot scouting, so he knows what he's looking for. And as Shoddy said, Flores, then of course he went on to be head coach of the Dolphins. I know, Aisha, you've had a chance to meet him and visit with him, but take some of the things from a Belichick defense and put your own stamp on it, right? And knows what he's looking for in terms of the players that he wants to bring in. And they've developed some young guys, but then brought in some key free agents and relying on veterans. And it's paid off for him defensively. And I know that the Vikings with their 5-8 record, and it's like, what a disappointing season, but this defense is good.
Yeah. What do you feel like? Where do you feel like the Cowboys have an advantage when you look at how they match up right now? If they do, or if they don't at all, do you feel like there's an advantage that the Cowboys have? Maybe offensive line, anywhere along the offensive line, receivers.
Your receivers,
Yeah.
Your receivers.
Yeah.
And the quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to keep saying it.
Yeah.
Because there's people that would be shaking in their boots if they didn't have a quarterback that could diagnose, that could see, that can get you in the right place and things like that. So I just think the quarterback also too. Oh, let me also say about this specific game, home field.
That's going to help with.
I'm hoping that it helps with the
was an issue.
communication.
Yeah, it was an issue.
They've struggled with that
Detroit.
on
Yeah.
the road. They've struggled with that offensively on the offensive line on the road. So I do think the advantage that they have is that they are at home dealing with a defense that likes to do so many things and be so multiple. Having the stability of playing at home, I think is going to be huge for them to get the checks, to get the calls, to get the communication the way that they need it to be.
What's the biggest, if they have one, what's the biggest vulnerability for Minnesota that Dallas can possibly exploit?
The vulnerability of the Vikings defense.
If there is one.
I mean, I guess it would be the
aggressiveness?
the
Corners.
Yeah, to me it would be.
Yeah, I mean it's a fluid situation for them with their corners.
Yes.
So no, I think it. If everyone's on the same page and they're recognize the pressure and where it's coming from and communicate well, I think there are some plays to be had here. Again, especially with the corners with the fluid situation that they have.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I think that would probably be it. Is like the quarterback position, and at times you can do some things with their linebackers and coverage. But yeah, I mean, really, honestly, that's it.
X Factor, go. Cowboys offense, Vikings defense. Who's your X Factor? Cowboys offense.
Cowboys offense. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I got. Dang. The X factor is going to be the offensive line. You need to be able to run the ball. I don't know who the two back is going to be behind Devontae Williams, but this is a long season. I think we are starting to see a little wear from Big Dog. He has played a lot of snaps, and this is the most he's played in his career. So for me, it's going to be the offensive line in this Dallas run game. That's my X factor.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Barnacles.
Javante slash
Malik.
Malik too. Yes, ma'am.
What about the tight ends? No?
Huh?
Yeah. Been blocking? You said,
absolutely.
Personnel.
Yeah.
I do want them to do 12, but when they doing all that fancy schmancy, go 11, get those speed guys out there and take advantage of them trying to bite on stuff and trying to, 11s.
All right, X Factor Vikings.
How about Hunter Lipke on a wheel route?
I'll cry. We seen it once, huh? I feel like I seen it once. Have you? Then we
Not
seen
enough.
When?
Not enough.
Didn't they run that
3
play?
weeks ago?
It was more than 3 weeks ago,
was it
Chris.
more?
I ain't seen him catch nothing that far. I ain't seen him catch nothing to get in the year. We seen it and it wasn't seen never again.
Grow up.
Do you think that he will become more involved in the receiving aspect and stuff of the offense as the offensive line gets better? Do you think that him not being as involved in the receiving game has a lot to do with the? Because I seen his college tape. We seen his college tape.
Yeah.
He's a good receiving running back.
Yeah.
He can do some things in the passing game. He's a pretty good runner. And all he do is do blocking. All he do is do a block.
Yeah.
So is it? I know maybe you just need him because the offensive line is struggling in certain areas, but at the same time, it's like, hopefully y'all get better so we can actually use this man as,
I'm gonna go look and see when's the last time Hunter Lipke had a
He
catch.
could be a weapon now.
I'm gonna pop you. I'm gonna pop you. When's the last time you had a catch?
But
it was recently. It was a Kansas City.
It's okay.
They be fooling us. Like 1 week, he'd be like, oh look, they did a fake handoff to Hunter.
What's it called?
Look, he had a couple catches on 3rd down. Oh look.
Wait, I'm going game by game. Sorry.
He's not here anymore. I know. What? Sorry, I wasn't trying to bother y'all. I wasn't trying to make y'all go look for nothing. I'm just asking.
Game by game. Here we go. Whew.
Jesus.
Yeah, so the touchdown, yeah. Let's see.
Chrissy's like.
Caught 1 pass for 7 yards against Philly.
Dang.
But the long one, let's see, 3 yards.
So, look, 3 games ago?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so.
3 games ago?
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Mm-mm.
What they pay him again?
I don't know.
Lipke? He's on a rookie contract. Oh, no.
But didn't they give him some? Didn't
They
extend
extended him.
Am I tripping?
They just extended him.
Okay, let me look.
They extended him to be another offensive lineman. At this point,
I just forgot what the contract was.
I'm not fussing or anything. I'm just saying.
No, you're right. It's fine. We appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Well, while we figure that out, we'll come back with that information tomorrow because I can't remember how much they paid.
What was your X factor?
Yeah, what's your estimate?
Run game.
We all agree.
The extension is a 2-year extension up to $7.5 million. So he got $5 million guaranteed.
It's the book.
There you go.
Yeah,
Not the book.
There you go.
There we go.
No games.
Right there. So I put it all in the computer, and then stuff happens once the season gets going, and then I have to write it in. So
That's very
anyway,
this is a special lady right here, y'all. If y'all didn't know, now
this
you
is
know.
when you're on radio network. Then people, you're on the sideline and people can't see you because it's radio. There's no camera, so you can just open your page to your notebook. I call it my Cliff Notes. These are my Cliff Notes.
Handy dandy of notebooks.
There you go.
Hey, but if you want to know anything, ask Christy.
I'll look it up. I mean, it won't be here, but it'll be there in the book.
All right, y'all.
Brain.
That's a wrap for today's show. We'll be back here tomorrow at 8 a.m. We've got a lot of fun things in store for you guys.
8 a.m. No wonder we're tired.
I know,
Dang.
right?
All right.
Well,
Is that 8?
That'll do it for Christy. That'll do it for Aisha. That'll do it for me. See y'all back here tomorrow.
Bye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!